Going to be our last session of the year of the Institute. We're going to be going into our winter break. And I know that holidays are coming up and there's so much that everybody's going to be engaged in doing. I want you to have this time to just kick back, relax, and rest. You're going to need rest as we come into 2023. So if you'll notice, I put that notification in the chat. I see you. Good morning to you. So much love to you, Kai Chick. Good morning to you. I see you, Rebel. I'm going to keep just kind of putting that in as a reminder as we go through today that we will be going into our spring break. The next Ifhc class will convene on January the 7th, 2023. Y'all, can you believe we're already right here? We're already to 2023. During the interim, I'm going to ask that you go back and review. I do. Oh my goodness. Thank God. I have all of the videos up. So all of the videos are up in the classroom. So what I need to do now is send each of you the link so that you can have access to the videos. I think I have everybody's email addresses. If you went out to Den Darn, come on in, good to see you. If you went to if you've been in Podia at all, Regina Stillman at podia.com, you hopefully have already signed up with your email and whatnot. You don't have to do it from Podia. If you want to do it from my email address, real easy, spiritualthoughtleader@hotmail.com is the easiest one. I do have one associated to my website, but the easiest one to remember is going to be spiritualthoughtleader@hotmail. Make sure that I have your email addresses so that I can get you that link, and it just has all of the classes right there together. I did try to do it where you could see what each of those classes were about. Say, for example, one may have been talking about anchoring the core, and it would list everything that we talked about in that course. So it would say the elements, it would say, you know, whatever else we talked about in that particular course, it will be in the intro where you can see it, and or you can preview so many minutes of it ahead of time. So what I'm going to ask you to do, just to keep it fresh, I'm going to ask if you would, during the time that we are down for the winter break, if you would just go ahead and go out there and at your leisure. And again, I'm going to even say according to what you want to see and according to what you feel like you need to reinforce, go back and revisit. Go ahead and take full advantage of those courses class by class. And the way I've broken it up as well. So the class is going to be one segment of a course, but then for some of you that may not want to see all of the reclaiming the text, you don't have to see the reclaiming the text. You can actually just go ahead and go straight to the next section. If you do want to see reclaiming the text, which I will say I would recommend it because there's some rich material that you guys share in reclaiming the text. So for those that either give their perspectives, highlights, questions, all of that is in reclaiming the text. So you'll see whatever it is, and then you'll see reclaimed. You'll see whatever it is, and then you'll see reclaimed. If you have any friends or loved ones, the reclaimed sessions are free. If they go into Podia, they can look at those. They will not get the teaching content, but they can come in and hear what the discussion was about the class after the class was over. And so, Den Darn, I'll get you a link as well. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you being here even this morning. I did open this class up to the other platforms as well, because it is going to be our final class of the year before we meet again in 2023. Again, January the 7th, 2023, we'll come back and we'll start classes again. But I want to give you this time of break. I want to give you time to breathe. I know MCP 812 may be here a little later. She's running late. If she doesn't make it, I'll give her all this information as well. So that being said, I want to go ahead and good morning to you, A.M. Harvey. I see you, sis. Thank you for checking in. As I said, you'll keep seeing it going around and around, Anita. But this is going to be our last class until we're going into our winter break. So this will be the last class until January the 7th in 2023. And I will be sending all of you the links where you can go back and watch any of the courses. I finally got all of them up, thank God. And it was it was a lot of work, y'all. It was a lot of work. Now that I have it all compiled, my goal from this point moving forward is that every week after that session has been convened, before that week is over, that new link of the last class that we recorded will be online, because God knows I don't want to get behind like I was this last time, because believe you me, I was up into the wee hours of the morning going back to get all of these online, but I wanted to do that for you. I definitely wanted to do that for you. Needed to do that for you. Good morning, Michelle Browno. So much love to you, my sis. So again, this will be our last Institute for Higher Consciousness until January the 7th in the year 2023. You will get the links. You will get the link. So make sure I have your email, means by which to get the link to you. And then we will come back. This is also while I'm just doing kind of station identification and giving some information. We are going to also bring back Waking the Lions. That 2:00 sermon is going to be totally revamped to where it's going to be a service. And so more than likely, I'm thinking it's going to more than likely move to a Sunday morning 7:00 scenario, keeping with the same energy and the same formatting, if you will, time-wise, of my Tuesday to Friday. Instead of coming on Sunday afternoon at 2:00, we'll be moving that back. That format's going to completely change, because we're going to actually begin to be able to include the music portion. We've got the licensing and whatnot to be able to go ahead. Jennifer, good morning to you. And so we'll be able to have the music in there. We're also going to marry that. I'm so glad you were able to catch it as well. We'll also have Church of Funk incorporated in there with the Rebel Inc. And y'all know how that flow goes on Sunday morning. And again, we're working all these kinks and schedules out, but it will be a totally revamped session. It won't just be me preaching. So I would anticipate, and I'm giving this as a tentative because we still have to work out all the scheduling, but I'm going to say I'm shooting for 7:00 on Sunday mornings to about 8:30. 7:00 on Sunday mornings until about 8:30. I can't wait either, Michelle. I'm so excited. We'll have not only Church of Funk, but we'll also have some live ministry of music going on as well. So we're pushing this so that we can have more engagement. We're also going to be including satellites at different locations that will be a part of the stream. We're going to phase that in one satellite at a time. But we've got vision, we've got a direction that we're going, and so all of this will come back and again be reinvigorated online after January. So definitely January the 7th for the Institute, that Saturday morning, same time. Nothing's going to change with that. Same time, same formatting there. But then on January the 8th, we'll potentially look at where that 2:00 Waking the Lions was at 2:00. Look for that to be revamped, probably back to 7:00, 7 to 8:30 in the morning, that hour and a half, 7:00 to 8:30 in the morning. I'll keep you posted on all of that. I'm just doing some announcements, station identification, if you will, here to kind of give you an idea of the direction that we're going. So you'll see that message. The Rebel is going to keep putting that message in about being on winter break so that those that come on later can actually know and be aware what's going on. So much love to you, Jennifer. I'm so glad that you're here. I am so glad that you are here. So much love coming to you. Oh, you have COVID. Prayers going up. Come on with the prayer hands. Prayer hands in the chat for those that are in Twitch and those that are in Discord. Let's just pray. And we know that God is able. we know that God is able. So just praying for you, sis, and praying for your speedy recovery and full recovery, and God's blessings be on you. Now, this is where I want to go this morning. And yesterday, oh my God, yesterday, what can I say about yesterday? It was a powerful move of God. I want to say I reached out to Michelle, some of you others that were in there actually talking in the chat. I'm telling you guys were blessing and ministering to one another. That you don't know how much that blessed me to see you guys. And let me say this, I was so caught up in the rafters. I didn't know really what was going on for real. I had to go back and read the chat after the fact. I went back after the fact, and I really, I was amazed by even the ministry that you guys were doing one with the other. Thank you for following Xavier Foster. So good to have you here. So much love to you, and welcome to the Lion's Den. So I got you. I see that came right behind. I was so excited that you guys were flowing. And I want you to be comfortable in that space and be comfortable in your skin, because at the end of the day, this move that God is doing and this waking of the lions isn't just so that I'm the only one roaring. This pride, Pride, this pride of lions is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. Now, I want to talk, because we've talked the last couple of weeks, and in the last couple of weeks, we talked about doulas, we talked about birthing, giving birth. We've covered all of that, and this is what I want to say. What we saw yesterday was literally, I told Fairly all day, it was a doula session. Yesterday morning was a doula session. I mean, what was going on? And it was, Rebel. It was a doula session. And this is a place that I want you to get comfortable with, because as we've been talking about miracles, signs, and wonders, and all the changes and the transitions that are going on, I want you to be aware. It was a blessing. I want you to be aware. This is where ministry is going. This is where ministry, and you break down the walls between the sacred and the secular, and just begin to bring all of it together, where it is just God's movement on the people, God's movement in the house, but it doesn't have to be according to some starchy, churchy format. Healing just breaks out, and I'm gonna tell you, when I say I'm here as a disruptor, you all know, if I had gone to a church house and preached, let Ish go. Had I gone to a church house and preached, let Ish go, I would have politely been set down and possibly shown the door, because that is the way of the structure, protocol, appropriateness, inappropriateness. But did you see how the power of God? First and foremost, I want to deal with truck driver and his transparency. Good morning, Grace Softly. So much love to you. This is an open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. So glad that you're here. Listen, Michelle, they would have been talking and taking all over the city. They would have talked about spiritual thought leader has lost her whole mind and all her spirituality, standing up talking about let Ish go and expecting there to be a move of God. However, I want to go back again, as I said, as we begin to experience truck driver and that brother, know he blessed me. That baby blessed me. And as he said, he was out of the streams the day before, and I noticed him gone. I did reach out to him. We didn't have a lot of conversation, but I just want him to know, hey, I got you. And this is the place where we can begin to sense one another as lions, as part of one another. When that level of communion, the communion didn't matter. I'm drinking some juice and I'm chewing a wafer. Communion is when we are actually becoming a part of one another, where I can sense you and you can sense me and we can sense one another. And exactly what you all did in the Lion's Den yesterday, encouraging one another, speaking into one another, prophesying to one another. When we can move in that level of connectedness, that's communion. Please hear me when I say it. That's communion in this hour. I'm not trying to be negative about the wafer and the cup, but listen, there are a lot of people that are taking and partaking of the wafer and the cup, but they are not connected to one another. So I want you to understand what God is doing in this hour is totally different. I see you, Roll Confessions. Good morning to you. Come on in here. And so what God is doing in this hour is totally different. When we talk about communion, what you all did in the Lion's Den, speaking life into one another. Yes, with let ish go. With let ish go. The power of God was released, and there was a release in the house. Y'all see, you saw it. There was a release in the house. And so as I go back and say once more and again, what we saw and witnessed and manifested was a spiritual doula session. Old school terminology and vernacular would say, oh, that was a deliverance service. If that's what you want to call it, that's fine. But the same idea with a doula experience. There was the deliverance that was going on for many. Things were being delivered. Things were being released. Even as we talked about in one of the earlier sessions, when we were talking about doulas, and we were talking about how we understand when you push, when you're pregnant with something and the process is going through, and we're again coming back to the reality, there is a process. You don't just stand up and one say, oh, one day I'm pregnant with something, and the next minute I got my baby. There's a process, beloved, that goes along with that. There's a process from the time of impregnation until you deliver that baby, and even thereafter, there's still process. So as we're coming into clarity and understanding with that as a reality in this space, in this place, it's a new move. It's not the same candy bar, a different wrapper. That day is over. And we've heard it time and time and time and time again. We've heard it over and over and over again. It's a new thing, but then we still see the same thing happening. Good morning, John Studios. So much love coming to you. That's my blessed angel, my brother. Thank you for joining us this morning. So this is what I want us to have real clarity about when we talk and when we share about what is going on. This is a manifestation of what these classes have been teaching and talking about, so that everybody is activated. Spidey powers activated, not just for one or two, but all these lions. This whole pride, Pride, this whole pride of lions is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. What I want you all to really understand, and Michelle always blesses me. I call her my quiet storm. And I just wanted to appreciate, honey, sis, you were ministering yesterday in this chat. You were ministering. And I don't want you all to be uncomfortable with the word ministry when somebody says that you're ministering, because we're not talking about that old school type of thing. When you're speaking life, when you're speaking deliverance, when you're operating as that spiritual doula. Good morning, Sheila K. Miles. Good to see you, Sheila Miles. Good to see you here. So much love to you. Love to me too. I'm gonna love myself. How about that? Yes, she was Rebel. Michelle was just literally ministering life. She was in that delivery posture as the doula, and she was waiting for the baby to drop. Man, even you are worthy. You are worthy, truck driver. I saw all of the scriptures that were going in, all of that was going forth. It was absolutely powerful. And the thing that really blessed me, and I say that for all of you, because I mean, you all were ministering to one another. It was just one mass doula session. That's all I can say about it. It was just a bunch of doulas in position waiting for babies to drop. I mean, this right here, it was so powerful. I see you, Tall Pumps, you said yesterday was so powerful for you. The connection and the love that you have for your family was revealed and embraced. Good old cleansing service. And that's really what I want to talk about today, Tall Pumps, is cleansing. So as we come into this place, this is really where I'm going. So thank you for that word, because that's exactly where I'm going. Michelle said something back to me that really blessed me, and that was about being allowed to be herself. Beloved, that's where your power lies right now in this move that's going on as spiritual doulas, as coming into, I'm speaking this even to entrepreneurs that are in the room. What did we talk about the day before? There is an abundance. You're under an open heaven. You were, as a matter of fact, for those of you that were sitting in the chat, and I didn't plan that, I just put it on a random in YouTube, and lo and behold, it played the whole entire, because I want to say that clip is about 12-15 minutes long, of we are under an open heaven. So when I came and sat down in my chair and heard that playing in my ear, I was like, listen, Spirit is just speaking to us. We are under an open heaven. We are birthing something that we've never seen before. And I'm going to say it again, not same candy bar, different wrapper, not same soup warmed over, just it's completely different. What is being birthed is completely different. And again, I'm going to keep going back. Where else can you have a complete doula service, or old school for the old school folk? Where else can you have a complete deliverance service off of Let Ish Go? Because it's totally different. It's not about, in Tall Pumps, I went and I got tickled when I read back, you were standing in the gap for all the cussing folk. I got tickled. But the power of that, being transparent and being yourself, not having to put on airs, not having to pretend to be something that we're not having to use the vernacular and the conversation and the talking points that sound right, that look right, that seem to have been right, but no power in it, because people are not being genuine. People are not being real. So yeah, Michelle, when I read that, she was standing in the gap for the cussing saints. I got tickled. Listen, that, and it's still, yet, please believe it, it was ministering to me. So, and it ministered to others, because some people are going to relate to Tall Pumps in being candid and open and being herself and standing in the gap, versus some of y'all that want to go out there and do a whole lot of church rhetoric and a lot of church talk. And at the end of the day, it's falling on deaf ears, because there's no connection. There's no, absolutely positively no connection. Come on, Tall Pumps, you better speak it. So I so enjoyed the power of yesterday. Truck driver is he's still marinating. That's my guy. I love me some him. He's right down to the point, honey, at 8:30 a.m. on November the 4th in the year 2023. That brother ain't playing with this thing. That brother is not playing with this thing. And I praise God for what God is doing. But that brings us to what I wanted to address today. As we're coming into this new place, and even for the word that was spoken to all of the entrepreneurs, because I know as God spoke on Thursday that, listen, you have an unlimited connection of unlimited resources. And for us to start getting ready to be positioned. And again, I'm not trying to go into a new prosperity gospel. And you know, you all know me well enough. I don't think I need to keep going back and addressing that for those that may not know me. I put that disclaimer in there. But I am saying, as the lions are being awakened, and as our hearts are right and our hearts are pure and we're being genuine and we're moving in this new place of God, understand there is a scripture that says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just or the righteous. So this is a season where we're getting ready to go through. Everybody to type transfer, or just say transfer. Those of you that are in my Twitch, please type transfer. The wealth of the wicked has been and is laid up for the just, for the righteous. So this is a time where that transition is going on, this transference. And so even as we talk about the idea of there being a space and a place for cleansing, after that baby is born, after that baby has come, the first thing you got to do is clean the baby up. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we did that teaching on birthing, spiritual birthing. We identified when you push, there's urine that comes out. When you push, there may be fecal material that comes out. When you push, there's blood that comes out. When you push, there's afterbirth that comes out. When you push, there are a lot of things that will end up being waste that served a purpose and were there. But when that baby comes out, that baby may come out with a whole lot of stuff on it. That baby may come out in the midst of a whole lot of mess, a whole lot of things that are going to need to be disposed of. So as we talk about the doula service that we saw, that doula experience that we had on yesterday, understand with that, there comes that cleansing and that release. They're in the very beginning of it saying, let Ish go. Let's start right there. Let that stuff go. For those of you, Royal Confessions, I saw you when I went back and read, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself. You all were speaking so much life. You all were speaking into the atmosphere. You all were speaking and setting up the energy that needed to be. You were putting us on the frequency. Come on. All these things that we've been talking about, all these things that we've been teaching in the Institute, we saw, if you will, a hands-on first eye, bird's eye view of that manifesting itself on yesterday in the Lion's Den. Please believe me, the fact that it was done remotely, somebody was in, we got Dindarn in the UK, we got somebody in New York, we got somebody all over the place in the country. When you get on frequency, and I'm gonna go back to again that same idea of satellite, or as we knew it back in the day, radio, frequency allows you to transcend locality. You understand what I'm saying? Frequency allows you to transcend a location. Frequency has the ability to go everywhere across this world, and it's just a matter of tuning into the station. Hear me. It's able to go worldwide. It's just a matter of tuning into the correct channel or the correct station. If you tune into that frequency, you will pick it up. And so this that we saw you guys yesterday, recalibrating the frequency, recalibrating and putting us on the channel, the Lion's Den. We got on a channel. Your coworker brought you a coffee mug. Oh, come on. I love that, Rebel. I love it. Understanding that frequency is so important. You all set that stage. And even though I was here in Texas, you guys were wherever you were, we all felt that thing with the same amount of power because we were on the same frequency. So understand, if you will, what we're setting in motion right now is really a matter of lights. Come on here, Royal Confessions. Camera, action. KK, good to see you this morning. Welcome to the Institute for Higher Consciousness. Thank you for coming in. Lights, camera, action. Myself, Royal Confessions, some of our friends, we've been saying that since the early 90s. Lights, camera, action. But I promise you, we may have been in a rehearsal before. Y'all know there was an old song that this is just a rehearsal. Listen, we may have been rehearsing before, but please believe it. We are in the midst of it. It's happening. It's happening. It is happening. I want you to be very clear on that. I want you to be very aware of that. So as we get ready and we see it happening, what we saw yesterday wasn't even just, it was just not even the tip of the iceberg. So understand, yes, spiritual doulas were in place to maneuver, to catch the baby, but then the next process, cleansing. And that's where Tall Pumps was talking about, starting with let Ish go. Some of us are going to have cleansing of the mind that has this mentality that I don't deserve it. Let's start right there. Let's start right there. And for everybody that just kept speaking that word in the chat yesterday, I am worthy. I am worthy. You are worthy. And speaking that over other folks, you are worthy. The one thing that I want you to start right there in our cleansing, release that foul spirit, release that foul demon of unworthiness. You are worthy. One of the chats that I put up, one of the memes that I put out the other day said, woke up worthy. Woke up worthy. I don't have to get worthy. I don't have to work and pray to be worthy. Woke up worthy. Because I am. Because I am. I want you to begin to embrace that in totality, because until you do, you will always be less than your potential as long as you think you don't deserve it. Okay? You will always be less. You will not reach your fullest potentiality as long as you feel that you don't deserve it and that you're unworthy. This is something that is taught. This is something that's indoctrinated. This is something that I still hear prayed and spoken from church to church, congregation to congregation, denomination to denomination, faith group to faith group. This idea and attachment and love affair we have with unworthiness. No, ma'am, no, sir. You are worthy just the way you are. I'm not doing that with a whole bunch of preconceived or what I want to say, a lot of you got to do this and you got to do that to be. You're worthy. You're worthy. You are worthy. You're more than worthy. I want you to embrace that. And this is one of the places of cleansing. I want you to visit that place. You know how when you're washing up, you hit all your spots. I want you to start right there with you are worthy. Start right there with you are worthy. Then, as truck driver said, he said what came to him was that he heard his mother say to him, go to your family, to your Twitch family, to your Lions Den family, and just confess it. And so you saw him put in the chat, I have a confession to make. And he shared his truth. Beloved, we've got to start dealing in our truth. We've all got to start dealing in our truth, because that begins our feet on the pathway to cleansing. What is it that's in me? What is it that I need to deal with? Come on, Den Darn, I am worthy. What is it I need to address? What residue? And maybe most of it's gone, but there's still a little residue that lingers on. Baby, residue will have you smelling like I don't know what in just a few hours. I need you to hit all the spots. I need you to get all the crooks, all the nooks and crannies, all the crevices. I need you to get all the residue cleansed so that we can move forth and begin to do what it is that we're put here to do. Now, for you, it may be whatever. It may be that place of unforgiveness and not forgiving yourselves. Let me start with that. I'm not even going to talk about external. The first place I want you to go, have you forgiven yourself? There's the cleansing. This is washing the baby out. We had that doula session on yesterday. Beautiful, awesome, grand. Now let's clean the baby up. Let's cut the umbilical cord, because we're here to go somewhere. We're here to do something. So for some, it is a matter of, as Royal Confession said, you gotta forgive yourself. You've got to forgive yourself. If that's you, this is where I want you to understand the cleansing process, because this baby, it was not aborted. Praise God. It was not aborted, will not be aborted, will not be abandoned. But at the end of the day, now that the baby's here, what are we doing with the baby? How are we preparing the baby? Understanding, again, baby came out with poop. The baby came out with some urine. Baby came out with some blood. The baby came out with a whole lot of stuff that's going to have to be discarded and washed away from the baby for the baby to continue in its growth process. And it's nothing wrong with it. You came out with some poop. A whole lot of babies came out in some poop, urine, and other stuff, blood, all of that. That's the way we come here. So I think sometimes we've even gone so far with these expectations that we place on people, as if you didn't come out with the poop, as if you didn't come out. And that's why doulas are there. That's why doulas and midwives are there, because they're going to take that baby, catch it, cut the umbilical, wash it up, cleanse it, and then present it to the mother for the joy of bundle that it is, for the joy of bundle that it brings, even after the pain. Am I talking to anybody? Even after the pain. Even after the pain. Come on, SK. I am worthy. It's a state of being versus a goal to be achieved. That is so good. That is so good. Listen, I want you to get that right there, what she said. I am worthy is a state of being and not a goal to be achieved. That's powerful right there. That is powerful. I am worthy is a state of being, not a goal to be achieved. That's rich. That is so rich. That is so rich. That is so rich. So I want you to embrace that. Worthiness is your state of being, not something that you're trying to achieve by all of these spiritual calisthenics that the churches and the religious faith groups want to say. You got to do this, that, and the other to be worthy. No, baby, it's a state of being. You are worthy. Now, as we look at the cleaning up, for me, and this may be something I'm going to be transparent here, but I want to say there may be some others here that may have come through the same type background that I have, where you struggle. Those areas, I'm pretty much good. Now, I do still have areas in the emotional. I do have still areas in embracing myself and loving all of me. But by and large, I'd say a lot of that is resolved. My issues still tend to revolve around the idea that God wants to bless me with abundance. God wants to bless me with abundance. And again, I'm saying this from the perspective of understanding, and I think I've shared many times the story of a lady that gave my mom, she told her, I want to give you something for this one, and she was talking about me. I want to give you something for this one because she's skinny, she's black, and she's ugly, and she gave my mother a penny. And so that's a place of healing for me. That's a place of healing for me, because there's still that internalized struggle that I continue to have. If my value is only a penny, then there's something that translates in that feels like I'm not worthy of abundance. I'm in the penny candy. You understand? I'm in the penny candy category. You come in and you just buy all the penny candy you want, with just a penny. And at the end of the day, there is that cleansing that says you've got to cleanse your mind. You've got to cleanse your emotions. Good morning, Crystal Method. So much love to you. Welcome to the Institute for Higher Consciousness. So glad that you came in. You've got to cleanse your emotions. You've got to cleanse your behaviors. You understand that is when I talk about cleansing. Cleansing it covers such a wide gamut. It covers such a wide area. And this is where I want you to understand. When we talk about frequency is what you do the most, what you think the most, how you act the most. That's what frequency you're on. That's what frequency you're on. Don't kid yourself. As I said, you got to deal with a place of truthfulness. Truthfully, your frequency is where and what you frequent. If money coming to you is a place that you still find yourself in a lack or in I'm gonna say in this instance, I'm worthy of this over here, but I'm not worthy of money because I'm only worth a penny. I'm worthy of this over here. And many of you find yourselves where you're trying to make it for everybody else. You'll try to do it for everybody else, but you won't do it for yourselves because there's still some residue within your mind that says everybody else is worth it, but I'm not. Somebody needs to just kind of marinate on that for a second. Everybody else is worth it, but I'm not. And that's why you'll continue to do for everybody else. And then when it comes to you, it's neglect, neglect, neglect. That is a form of a frequency. That's a frequency that you're on that's saying you're not worth it, but they are. You see the worth and value in everybody else. It's almost like I shared the other day about my bullying, and I shared about the experience of when my cousin was going to physically abuse his spouse, and I took the poker and picked it up off of the fireplace. And I mean, baby, we was getting ready to go to battle. No fear, no anxiety, no nothing. But then this is the reality of it. Then when my life was in danger in certain situations, I would not do that same thing for myself. Do y'all understand? Anybody in here understand what I'm talking about? I would go to hard in the paint for somebody else, but I would not do that same thing for myself. Somebody's resonating with what I'm saying here, whether you admit to it or not, because I know I'm not the only one. And I want you to understand that that still speaks to some level of everybody else is worthy, but I'm not worthy. Everybody else is worth, if I have to lay down my life so that you can live, I'm without a second thought. It's a done deal. But then come on, SK 8843. But then when it comes to myself, I am rendered powerless. I am paralyzed. I am mute. You understand? I have no response. This is all, when I talk about the cleansing that needs to happen, this is all identifying what frequency we're on. And I think another day I posted about vibrating high. I need you to vibrate on a higher frequency. This word is to all of us as we're in this space of the doula and the spiritual doula. See, I done run out of time already. But you know, at the end of the day, the cleansing portion, as the baby has been born, the doula session was great, but please believe it. You got to clean the baby up. You got to be ready to move. And because it's happening, y'all. It is happening. For such a time as this, we've been called to come into this kingdom to reestablish. Listen, when we talk about be the change, we really are the change. When we talk about waking up the lions, we really are the lions. You're not here by accident. You're not coming into these classes just to take up space. You're not coming into these classes just to listen to me bump my gums. You are coming into these classes because you are part of this movement that is on the earth right now that's happening. You're a part of it. So then you've got to be able to understand, if the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just and the righteous, and the just and the righteous are running from the wealth, you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about because they won't give it to us. I'm talking about because your mindset is still in a place of saying, I don't deserve it and I'm not worthy of it. Well, if you're not worthy of it and your heart is right, who is worthy of it? Who's going to get it? And this wealth has been laid up for. When are the just going to come and get it? When are the just going to receive it? Or how long will we continue to run around saying, I'm unworthy, I'm unworthy? And I'm not talking about greed. I'm not talking about trying to consume things on your own lust. I'm not talking about having narcissistic ideas and narcissistically hoarding. I'm talking about people that understand community, people that understand the village, people that understand it's going to take all of us to make and bring the change that we want to see in this earth, networking and working together. It's going to take us doing this. It's going to take those of us that are free in our mind, free in our spirit, free in our emotions. And listen, we've got to be free to model lights, camera, action. We've got to be free to model to those that will come, to the babies that we will deliver. We've got to be able to deliver them healthy parenting. You understand the words that are coming? Healthy parenting. Let me model to you what this looks like so you don't have to be raised and reared in the same level of lack of understanding or ignorance that I was raised in. We've got to come into this place of awareness. I know my time is up. It's time to reclaim the text. But I really, and I know I talked quite a bit. I did talk quite a bit as we were talking about the break, the winter break that we're going into. But I just wanted to, and Tall Pumps, thank you so much for allowing even that word to come forth, because cleansing is that next step. And as we're going into it, many of you are going to begin to realize God's going to start cleansing you with your family. God's going to start cleansing you with the job. God's going to start cleansing you in the very different areas that you frequent. You're going to start feeling and sensing and understanding a cleansing that's going on inside of you. Doesn't have anything to do with the people. Doesn't have anything to do with the people. Someone shared with me how they were able to confront the other day someone that had abused them, and they were able to confront the abuser. And it's not about the abuser, it's about what you're doing for your own personal cleansing. I loved that. And so understand, some of you may have those types of experiences where you're confronting people that have done things, said things, acted in a way. You may find that you're finding yourselves releasing people. They may already be dead. They may be dead, buried, and in their grave, but you're going to find yourself releasing people in various states and places. Why? Because you're releasing yourself. It has nothing to do with the people. It has everything to do with yourselves, because it's time, it's happening. And so I'm going to close out with that. This is going to wrap up and get ready. You can take yourselves off mute for those of you all that are in Discord, and those of you all that want to talk in the chat, please feel free to do that. But as we've gone through that doula experience on yesterday, clean the baby up, continue to clean, let Ish go. Let Ish go. And not just, there's that deep cleansing, you go to the bathroom, but when you get ready to do a diagnostic or something like that, they give you that stuff to drink to get all of it out of you. That's where we are right now. We're in a process right now that as we're preparing, and if you will, a spiritual diagnostic that's getting ready to happen on all of us so that we can know that we're healthy. We can know that we're well when we get ready to go out and move. I need y'all to go ahead and drink that nasty stuff. And y'all know how nasty it is. That's when you talk about drink from the bitter cup, Rebel, drink from the bitter cup. Go ahead and drink all of that for what it is, and cleanse that deep cleansing, all the way down to the guttural in your intestines. That's the cleansing I'm talking about on today. Because every now and again, you need a system cleanse. Every now and again, you're going to need a system-wide cleanse. And I just want you to be clear on that. And with that, I'm going to pause. I'm going to allow opportunities for those in Discord that want to take yourselves off mute. Feel free to do that. And I appreciate everybody that has come in today. This is our final session going into winter break. We'll be back again in Institute for Higher Consciousness, January the 7th, 2023, and we'll also be revamping Church of Funk and Awaken the Lions and on that Sunday session as well. So I want to just thank you for continuing to put that in there, Rebel. I appreciate you. Tall Pumps, this journey we are taking together is amazing, and you are worthy of that deep cleansing so we can continue to let stuff go, let Ish go. And thank you for you, honey. Just go on with your words. Go on with your words. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anybody else that wants to speak, anybody else that wants to share out there, come on and share with us. Just go ahead and take yourselves off mute and I'll acknowledge you. Go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody coming off. I thought I saw somebody coming off. Yes, Kai Chick, go right ahead.
A lot of things that were said yesterday and today really resonate with me. And to be honest, I'm still working on the worthiness I was really trying to break through yesterday, but I guess I still have some really old strongholds. But I am making progress, and I want to thank you and the Lions Den for that.
Thank you for your truthfulness. And that means so much, Kai Chick, because we cannot move forward if we're not truthful with where we are. And I think that's the place. That's it. I love it, Den Darn. So much applause for you being bold enough to speak your truth. Sometimes we can feel compelled in situations and setting like this where we almost, I'm gonna say lie. We have to lie and try to make it sound like, oh, I did it and I'm done. No, thank you for saying I'm still working through it. This is still an area. And it reminds me of a passage that says, I believe, help my unbelief. And that's what, when we talk about, there are areas where we are on, we are on it. We are on it. We are on it. But then there are areas where we still have unbelief. There are areas, and when I say unbelief, I'm saying we still have stuff that we're working through. So it's that truthfulness of I believe, but help where I don't believe. It's that truthfulness of saying I'm coming into a place of understanding that I'm worthy, but I still have areas where I'm recognizing I still have to work on that. Rather than to do this all-encompassing lie that I'm 100% better right now and speak those things that be not as though they are. I have no problem with that, but you still have to deal with truth. And I think this is where the problem has been really a holdup in past experience of spirituality as we've known it. And notice I didn't say church. Notice I didn't say religion. I'm talking about spirituality. Past spirituality has been very much a scenario where we got to come out with my super cape, come out with my superpowers, and pretend as if I am just absolutely positively in no way, shape, or form touched by any of this stuff that's going on, in my life. When you know full well I'm impacted, I'm wounded, I'm hurting. And this is where, thank you for the transparency, because there is a word from the sacred text of the Bible that says, confess your faults one to another and pray ye one for the other that you might be healed. And this is a place because it hasn't been safe. This is a place because it hasn't been comfortable and where you weren't going to get the beat down and people hollering and screaming at you and telling you all this negativity. The confessing our faults one to another, we should be able to say to one another, I'm still struggling in this area, without having each of us come down on the other with our bludgeoning hammers and swords and leaving people bloody and dead and then walking. Well, they didn't want it. They wanted it, but we didn't have the patience. We didn't have the care, the kindness, the concern to love somebody through it. And I promise you, Kai Chick, your ministry is going to be so powerful because what you're experiencing and the truth of what you're sharing, there are so many people just like you that you will be able to birth them. You will be able to be a spiritual doula to them because you understand that place. You understand that space. You understand how to come with the grace. You understand how to come with the kindness and the understanding to be able to help the baby be born instead of aborting and killing the baby on site at birth. So please understand, even this journey that you're on, thank you for the truthfulness, but you are worthy. And you will come to the totality of it. It's a process. Just like I said, it's a process. For so long, we have not dealt with situations. We have not dealt with truth as a process. We want to do one and done, all of this today, and then tomorrow it's like, oh, no, it's a process. And so I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you so much. And I applaud you too. Thank you. Anyone else? That's so beautiful. Anyone else? We are all worthy, Den Darn. We are all worthy for sure, for sure, for sure. Anyone in the chat, anything that anyone in the chat wants to say, go ahead and share it for those that are in Twitch. Anyone in Discord? Okay. I'm gonna let you redeem your Saturday. I'm gonna say once more and again, we will be going into our winter break. So this was our last session for this segment here. Just keep feasting on what has been going on yesterday. This whole year has been beautiful. The next Ifhc will be January the 7th, 2023. During the interim, I do want to say to you again, please go back and watch the videos of the previous classes. I'm going to send the links to you. I do have everything up. I do have all of the classes up. I'll also go ahead and edit this class today, which is, just a overall recap to kind of close us out for this segment. And we'll be back fresh and renewed and ready to go January the 7th. Again, for those for the 2:00 session, that will also be on break until after the first of the year, because we're preparing that to bring back Church of Funk. We're preparing that to bring back real live music, real live. We're getting the licensing and everything ready to go for that, so we can bring all of that in one fell swoop. Tentatively, I want to say I want to try and say hopefully we'll be from the 7 to 8:30 hour in that segment, and I will be preaching in that segment, but we're also going to bring the ministry of music both through Church of Funk as well as through live singing into that ministry. Grace So Softly, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for coming, and so much mad love to you. So this will be a time that I'm going to revamp, reorganize, bring everything together that we need to do to come back even stronger and to come back with a much more expanded format. I appreciate everybody. Listen to the class. This first two segments, Foundations, and to the second Power of Institute, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. I went back, and as I was editing all of those and updating to put them out there so that you all could go back and revisit them. Whew, it was so much good stuff. Y'all blessed me. It blessed me to actually just go back. I want to encourage you again during this downtime. And you can see I do have it by category, and I do show a heading of all the things that are talked about in that particular session, so you don't have to hunt all around trying to find it. That's in there as well. So whatever you need, feed yourself between now and January the 7th, and we're going to come back. We're going to come back, and it's going to be even better. I love you guys. I absolutely do. Come on, One Reason. I didn't know you were in here. Yes, new formatting coming. One Reason, that's my brother, y'all. That's my friend. I love him. If you're not following him, those of you that are in Twitch, please do so. He's going to bless your whole life. I look forward to doing some work with you, One Reason, in this coming year in 2023. I really look forward to doing some direct work with you, my brother. And I keep saying I need to reach out and we're going to connect and talk, but we're going to do that. I have a vision of something that God wants to do, and I believe it's going to be powerful. You're a powerful brother. And I just speak miracles, signs, and wonders all over your life, sir. Miracles, signs, and wonders all over your life. Thank you so much for sitting in and auditing today. I didn't know you were here, but bless you. I hope if I missed you when you came in, good morning to you. Now, for those of you that are in Twitch, I'm going to invite you. I asked the Rebel Inc. if she would, we normally don't do this, but for anybody that came in today, because this is our last session, I wanted to just go and be a blessing to stay lifted. Stay lifted. I love her spirit. I love her energy. And she is another one that has taken me on as her pastor. I just love her. I want you to go ahead and copy the raid message. And we don't normally do this, but those of you that are here in Twitch that will ride the raid train over with us, we're going to go over and we're going to be just some blessing and love on Stay Lifted on this morning. For those that can, I appreciate you. Any of you that are in Discord that want to meet us over there that are not in your Twitch channel, you're welcome and invited to go over and be with us with Stay Lifted. Again, so much love to y'all. So much love to you. Tommy Girls World. Listen, so much love to you. This is the Institute, and we're wrapping up a little early, but hold on, because we're getting ready to go to Stay Lifted. If you would copy that raid message, so much love to you. Thank you for dropping in. We will reconvene January the 7th, 2023. Can y'all believe that? January the 7th, 2023. We will reconvene with Institute for Higher Consciousness. Until then, blessings upon blessings, and I love you guys. Hold on, and we're going to take this raid train over. I'm waiting for, raid has already been started, so please, please, please ride it on over with us. And so much love to you, Tommy Girls World. So much love to you. To those of you in Discord, I love you. You received the process, you embrace the process, and you are worthy. That's what I'm talking about, Kai Chick. That's what I'm talking about. So much love to you. Now, let's ride this raid train over. To those of you in Discord, feel free to dismiss yourselves. If you want to join us over in Twitch, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'll see you all Tuesday morning. We're still here on our other regularly programmed schedule. BTD Mom, good morning to you, sis. Mad love to you. So much love coming to you. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna go out here because I need to see where we are. Stay lifted. That's where we're headed. Make sure we make that transition over. And there it is. Okay, we're over there. So to the rest of you, so much love to you. And I'll see you on Tuesday for those that meet me there Tuesday. I love you guys. Blessings.
Love you guys. See you and stay lifted. Have a great weekend.
You too. You too.
With the pull up, Michelle Brown. Oh, is that Skay? 8843. I see you. Thank you so much.
My Bango Spoon is here.
Wait, who?
My Bango Spoon.
Bangos. Yes, the Rebel Ink, my mother's sister. She said, be right back. She didn't tell me she was going to get the family. Thank you all so much for raiding. Oh my goodness. Y'all know I have to have a whole moment when I get a raid. It's like a raid for me. Let me listen, Miss RDS, don't tell nobody, okay? Come closer. Don't tell nobody. All right, it's just me and you, okay? Don't run. When I get a raid, why do I feel like a kid at Christmas? It's like somebody just gave me a big present. And specifically, I feel like, did you ever know about the Oopsie Daisy doll? Did you ever know that doll growing up?
Maybe.
Okay, so Oopsie Daisy was a doll that could crawl, and I think she could use the bathroom. She had